Elon Musk, my homie Elon, sent me, as you can see, Mars is over here. Right, Andy? Mars?
Yeah.
That's Mars?
I'll try my best.
Personally,
yeah.
I see it.
I
Yeah.
also can see it.
Everyone
So,
sees it, Andy.
if you're watching the video version and you don't see it, I don't know, get your eyes checked or something.
I don't know what to tell you.
Look a little harder.
Other than, welcome to today's episode of What's Poppin'. I'm your host, John. I got Andy, Ethan, Chris, and we've got a special guest with us today.
Yep.
Mr. Yonda. Hello, Mr. Yonda.
It's me. It's the wizard in the sky.
No way.
It's the one that keeps getting called out by Ethan. And so I'm here to answer the questions, to talk some pop culture, and to talk about lots of cool things. So I'm here to join today. Because it's an asynchronous day, so we're doing the work in a different way.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
It's like, it feels like those times when a teacher's teaching and then like the principal or someone walks in and they're just like, no, don't pay any attention to me. Like,
Yeah, it
part
feels
of the
like we need to
class.
work a little harder today.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you don't work very hard on this normally? Is that... I've listened to every single episode of What's Poppin', and it is one of my favorite podcasts. Period. Much less one of the most fun podcasts that we get to do with TCFM and with broadcasting. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad I got my Avengers shirt on. I know we're gonna talk. Something Marvel.
And talk nerdy.
And talk nerdy.
I got
Grogu's in the back with my
Let's
Atari
go.
stick.
Nice.
So we're ready. You can see my stack of consoles in the back. So we could talk about Microsoft stuff. We could talk about all kinds of stuff. I'm prepped. I'm ready to go.
Suddenly,
Alright.
I feel inadequate.
I got my clothes back there. So
I got a cow hat.
That
Nice.
John's in space. So
Yeah,
John's
I
in
mean-
space.
Yeah.
He has
Everyone sees it,
so much
Andy.
behind him.
Everyone sees it. You
Yeah.
can't deny it.
can't
You
deny
Okay.
it.
can't deny it.
Yeah.
I'm actually in Westview. I'm in Westview.
Really?
Whoa.
I'm in
Wow.
Westview
Wow.
right
How
now.
did you get there?
He got through the hex.
Yeah, the heck.
It's amazing.
That's
you got
what it
any
was.
powers?
You know who else is here in Westview?
Who?
Oh,
Not Wanda anymore.
Not Wanda.
Not Wanda anymore. You know why? Because the newest episode of WandaVision.
The finale.
Yeah.
yeah. Spoilers for the finale of WandaVision. We're gonna talk about it.
We are gonna talk about it. It was good.
Finally.
I mean, does
Sorted.
editor Andy have to do the whole like, oh, if you don't want spoilers, you shouldn't
Probably.
listen.
It's actually been really nice that we were talking it a week in advance because, oh my goodness, having to like fit all the times back together after recording a, oh my goodness, spoiler, it's nice. It's nice that I don't have to do that. But yeah, I think it was a really good episode. I love.
I have opinions.
Okay, go ahead. Give
I
me
thought it
your
was good. I thought it was a little disappointing though, but I don't think that was their. No, I do think it was kind of their fault, to be honest.
It was COVID's fault.
Sure.
I think
It
it's
Partly.
was. They had a really good story planned out, but because of COVID, they had to make a lot of changes.
I think that they should not have teased as much as they did. Specifically, Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen. Because they did it on purpose. And what's her name? The girl who plays Monica? Because they all did it on purpose.
Tiana or something?
Because she was like, can't wait till y'all find out who the aerospace engineer is. And then it was just some military officer.
Okay,
then,
they said that's not the aerospace engineer.
I thought they did confirm that that's who it was. Because we didn't meet her in the show. And they said they were going to meet her in the show.
They said that they were gonna work, like they had future plans for the aerospace engineer. And like it was someone. So people are holding on to the hope. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like false hope, but
and
people are like, Reed Richards?
well, too. I mean, since we're going full spoilers on it, I think part of the thing that might be disappointing is that because this was like Disney's first big Marvel part of it, and they had been successful with The Mandalorian, but they saw how The Mandalorian splitting it up into weeks got all of these content creators to, I mean, us talking about it
Yeah.
like week after week after week after week after week, all the spoilers and speculation and these hidden Easter eggs. And oh my gosh, they recast Pietro. Is that that they pulled him from an alternate universe? And it turns out to be all this kind of fakery. But like the aerospace engineer she could have been referring to is the Skrull at the end. Like,
Yeah.
and so now Captain Marvel 2, we've got Monica Rambeau with some powers, you know, up into Nick Fury sword style. That's cool to me. I like the idea that the Vision's out there again, or a different version of the Vision. I thought that battle specifically between the two Visions was
Beautiful.
really.
I agree.
The
I
ship
like
Theseus, man.
I like the idea of like the original
Civilized.
Vision kept like getting away by using his like phasing, and then the new Vision like kind of learned how to do it throughout the battle, and like started like being able to started getting the advantage basically because he was like learning and adapting as a robot would. I thought that was cool. It was a good episode.
Honestly, though, there were some part, and I guess I can't really blame him, but the kids acting, not on point.
I've
And
heard
also,
that.
just some of the dialogue felt cheesy.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that you know, she gets her super cool, awesome costume,
Oh, 10 out of 10. Oh,
and then there's no fight. You know? And maybe that's me being a little childish, but it's like they had all this build up. She finally is in her cool Scarlet Witch costume. We finally get her name. She's the Scarlet Witch, and she ascends down, and then she just turns Agatha back to Agnes, and that's the end. And then she changes back to normal. It just felt like a little bit of there was some wasted potential there, specifically with that. There was a lot of wasted potential with Quicksilver, but I understand what they were trying to do. I just think, I don't know. It was frustrating.
Speaking
This is
of
the second time
Quicksilver,
Marvel's done that.
Do you guys think that Ralph Boner was the witness protection person? I don't.
No, because he's an actor, and if you're in witness protection, they don't allow you to do anything that involves like drawing attention to yourself. I think it was probably the pizza guy who was a criminal, and so he saw something and then they moved him, and I don't know. The mail delivery guy specifically is what I was saying. But yeah, I think that there was a little too much theorizing about that, but it really just was there to set up why Jimmy Woo was there and investigating the hex.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the same kind of things from earlier, where if you're giving people, you know, the show was short too.
Yeah.
Like, they had so much long of credits, but the show each time was pretty short, and so people were nitpicking every little line, every little type of scrap of detail. And I think Chris is right too, because if we hadn't had COVID kind of canceling some of those production kind of things, maybe we would have had maybe a couple more episodes even, or at least longer, you know, finale kind of stuff. Because in The Mandalorian, for instance, they had some that had different lengths of time depending on the story that they wanted to tell. I feel like part of that got cut off a little bit, especially with the twins. I did think though that like Wanda, that the final battle didn't really, that it was something that she learned from Agnes and like kind of took down Agnes with the knowledge, like the knowledge of the truth, I guess. Like I thought thematically made sense for that to be the resolution rather than a big explodey fight. Because my family and I have been rewatching the Avengers movies, like up into all this stuff, and there's a whole bunch of big explodey fights in all of those kind of things. And especially after seeing so many in a row, the resolution where we weren't in a big explodey fight, but we were more in like a internal, I am understanding who I am and who I'm going to become, especially with the post credits season teaser for Wanda and like being the Scarlet Witch and like reading the books and like doing all this kind of stuff. Like I think it sets it up dark enough for Multiverse of Madness, but not like make her the villain kind of thing. I think there's still enough possible heroicness in this.
I keep arguing with my family. Do y'all think she's going to be the unintentional villain of Multiverse of Madness?
See,
I think she will be.
I think that they've set it up so much for her to not be a villain, that she's going to be an apprentice to Doctor Strange. And I think it's going to be a Luke Skywalker situation where she's going to be tempted by the darkness and by the power it provides her. And like, it's probably going to like give us the whole like bringing back the twins with the dark magic. I feel like that's going to happen, and that's going to be the temptation of the darkness. And then Doctor Strange is going to be like, hey, no, there's better ways to do this.
So my theory and little prediction with this whole thing is, Agatha said that the Scarlet Witch is going to end the world. And so I think that may be her like making the multiverse, like splitting the multiverse, because I think she's going to pull the twins from an alternate universe where they were like real, and try to kind of bring them back that way, and then she'll split the universe into multiverses, and then Doctor Strange will have to deal with it. So I think I personally think it'll be an unintentional villain situation, but I don't think they're setting her up to be a big bad.
Yeah, I couldn't see that kind of being like almost like a reverse House of M, like where you had it. If you're familiar with the comics, one of the big famous stories is Avengers Disassembled, which is about Scarlet Witch kind of going crazy because of relearning that she had these two twins that were pulled away, and the loss of other things, and bad stuff happens, and then she creates this world where everything's perfect, and that was kind of the story of the Westview WandaVision thing too. But then after that story ended, it was more traumatic, and so she said just like no more mutants, and like 198 mutants like survived after like 6 million were around. So in this case, it could be one of those things where, like Chris said, if you've got a someone who's just just learning real magic from Doctor Strange, but she's also connected in some type of magical way to this chaos magic, and pushes the wrong magic button, and then boom, you've got a multiverse of crazy, or madness even. But I don't know.
I will say this finale has got me excited for the setup of mutants, because I think it will be in either Falcon Winter Soldier or Eternals or Black Widow, because all of those were supposed to, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure all of those were supposed to come before WandaVision. And so we would have heard something, potentially, the idea is we would have heard something about mutants being introduced in the MCU before that. So the Ralph Boner Quicksilver cameo would have been more of a, haha, funny, they recast him, they do this in sitcoms sometimes, instead of us being like, this is the introduction of mutants into the MCU. And it would have been less of a deal and funnier of a joke. And I do think that COVID has affected that. So I'm trying to be as understanding as possible, but man, I love Evan Peters Quicksilver, so it's very sad.
And that's the other part of this that I'm really curious about. They've been holding on Black Widow for like we're talking almost a full year and a half now that they've been holding on to Black Widow, and I just feel like there's got to be something in Black Widow that's special in there. I mean, not only I'm excited to see the film, especially after just having watched Endgame again, because I want to see Black Widow in her own solo film, but I feel like there's going to be something more there, and maybe if Falcon and Winter Soldier's got some cool stuff, I don't know. Some people are saying, George St. Pierre, I guess, is saying that fan theories might be even bigger with Falcon and Winter Soldier than WandaVision, and that's a week away.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what that holds. Like, what kind of theories is he thinking? Like, theories for
what's the
universe?
What's the place where they may be? Is it called Wundagore?
Wundagore Mountain, yeah.
Isn't there a place that's connected to like Wolverine that's going to be in Falcon Winter Soldier? And so people are already theorizing about it. I don't remember what it's called. It's like a mutant city or something like that.
Well, there's in Wundagore Mountain and stuff. That's like where the High Evolutionary lives, and he messes with stuff. And that could be an interesting concept, maybe, to take it through that way. If I was writing it, I would think that the Eternals is a better place to sort of say we're going to see the X gene.
I agree.
Way down the line. But Falcon and Winter Soldier, there could be a whole lot of cool stuff to do with just what does the world look like now that Endgame is over? Like, what does it look like for heroes? Like, which heroes are still around? Who are still, competing? And more specifically, who are the villains who are still, out there? Whenever you get a giant power vacuum, that happens, people show up. So I'd like to see what Zemo does. I'd like to see what, some other kind of, I don't want to call them B-list villains because I don't even know if that's that. Maybe we'll get some mentions of the Mandarin and to go into to Shang-Chi and all this other kind of stuff. But I'm also kind of really excited just to see, Bucky and the Falcon working together, an espionage spy thriller kind of thing every week. Could be a whole lot of fun.
I think Sebastian Stan described it as being one of those older buddy cop movies.
I like that.
Yeah, I really hope it's funny.
I was gonna say that too. I hope it's funny.
Yeah. I want all the like you said, espionage and spy stuff, but I feel like they're both they have good potential to be funny.
I also really hope, and maybe this is just wishful thinking, but I really hope we get an explanation of why the Falcon got the shield and not Bucky. Because right now that was just kind of out of nowhere to go with the comics because of Steve's character that they had set up in the movies. It just didn't make much sense. And I'm sure, yes, but his whole motivation in all of the movies is that Bucky is his best friend and he's going to do anything for him. And so I just feel like it kind of switched up right at the very end just to make sense with the comics.
Yeah, I think there's...
I don't know. I hope that gets explained.
I think there's probably also, a little bit of a situation where even though Bucky is his best friend, I think that maybe Steve saw in Sam Wilson the kind of ideals that hey, you're you don't have super soldier serum, you don't have a mechanical arm or even the shield until I give it to you. You've got a prototype wingsuit, and you're still fighting in these massive battles, tactical, being with each other. There was some things I noticed too, when I was just rewatching these Avengers movies, a couple of the ways that Sam and Rhodey and stuff talk to each other, and even to a certain extent a couple of the other military people, the sort of the shorthand that they talk to each other in, is really interesting. So I'm interested to see too where Sharon Carter fits into this, and because she's going to be back, and are they going to be building a what was the thing that Black Widow was kind of running from the Avengers place in the Endgame time? What was it still called? The Avengers? Was it called Sword? Was it Shield? What? Is Shield still is it revived? Where are we? That's the kind of stuff that I'm kind of curious about, because I mean I really don't know. Having just watched Endgame, I'm everything got crushed, everything was destroyed, and WandaVision is sort of in this little pocket, little thing, but
our own little world.
Yeah, literally. Especially after seeing Far From Home and how they faked us out pretty good with the Fury and the Skrulls and stuff like that. So I'm very curious to be well, who are the Falcon and the Winter Soldier working for? Are they working for... Is Maria Hill around? I don't remember seeing her get unsnapped. Is Sharon Carter running a thing? I don't know. So
the main thing I want from Falcon Winter Soldier, and if not from Falcon Winter Soldier, from something, I need some explanation on how the Avengers let Vision's body get taken by Sword.
Yes. Yes.
Because right now, I mean, I'm sure there's an explanation, but right now it's just kind of a plot hole. How did they get it out of Wakanda? How did Sword get a hold of it? Why didn't the Avengers because that was his dying wish, and Vision's body didn't get snapped, and they had Vision's body since the snap. So the Avengers had 5 years to take care of Vision's body. Why didn't they, or why'd they give it away?
And it might have been one of those kind of situations, and that's why I want to know, is Sword the new Shield?
Yeah.
Because is it that they were okay, Shield was really about keeping peace on Earth, and now Sword is above that. I would love for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier to be yeah, we're agents of Sword instead of agents of Shield, or maybe they're not. Maybe they're doing something that's relegated to something else. I don't know. I'm excited to see it. We're gonna have it in a week. It's gonna be
Ready for a new show. How many episodes is it going to be? I heard it's shorter than WandaVision, right?
I heard it
But
was
the episodes
8.
are longer.
I think it might be 8.
I think it's 8, but I think that they were saying that it was going to be 6 hours worth of content, but in 8 episodes. I think.
Yeah, I heard the episodes are going to be a little longer.
And this is the one that
6 episodes.
Oh, okay, 6 episodes. So, but I think that this is the one that is more likely a film that was cut into episodes.
Yeah.
Rather than WandaVision, which I think was always intended to be sort of especially in the early parts with the play on the sitcom stuff. I'm excited. I got my shirt on, man. I got my cap and my Black Widow, and
I used to have that shirt.
I don't know why Ghost Rider's on this one, but you know what? Eventually we'll see Ghost Rider.
Nicolas Cage.
Well, hopefully.
Speaking
Oh my God.
of strange appearances, Ryan Reynolds is supposed to be guest appearing in Marvel movies like Stan Lee. So what do you guys think of this?
So is he going to be Stan Lee, or is he going to be Ryan Reynolds, or is he going to be Deadpool?
He's gonna be Deadpool, but I
Okay.
think he definitely. I think the first one, if this is true, I think the first one he might say something and be like, "Hey, I know we're all going through a tough point right now, waiting for the cameos. That's never gonna happen. So hi, I'm taking over." Something like that, just to ease into it, and then the rest is
Mhm.
gonna be jokes, maybe dressed up as Stan Lee.
I could see that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a bad thing,
No.
but I think it'll hurt.
Yeah.
Deadpool will make it hurt. Deadpool will make it hurt.
It might be funny if it's just even smaller than that, not even full lines. If you remember, in Iron Man 2, when Tony's eating donuts in the middle of that big famous donut in Los Angeles, that's the kind of Deadpool thing that I would like to see. Him you're speeding by in a car, during some kind of gun shootout, and there's some damage, and he turns around with 2 chimichangas and is
Have we seen any chimichanga jokes with Deadpool yet?
I don't know if
I don't think so. I mean, I haven't seen Deadpool or Deadpool 2, but I'm pretty sure we haven't.
I don't think so.
I don't think we have either, but
Maybe a good way to introduce it.
maybe.
HBO Max is introducing Mortal Kombat, the movie, which has already had its own movie before, but this one's coming out on April 13th. It's going to be rated R.
Do we think it'll be
Expected.
good?
I've
saw
heard
the
some
trailer.
stuff.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer. It doesn't look like it'll be terrible. It might
Mhm.
be a little cheesy because, it's a video game adaptation. But I did see something by the actor who plays, is it Kano or something?
Kano.
Kano? Yeah. He said that his character is going beyond the boundaries with his jokes. So people are scared it's not going to be jokes and it's just going to be racism or sexism or something.
Thanks.
Mhm.
If anything, I bet it would be gore. Actually,
Yeah.
gore jokes, because Kano's pretty famous for ripping out people's hearts as his fatality. so that all that kind of stuff. I like the first Mortal Kombat movie. I'm old enough to have seen the first Mortal Kombat movie in theaters, and that one wasn't that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. It's cheesy, and and so I'm kind of excited to see what they're gonna do. But with it rated R, and specifically because it's on HBO Max, and specifically because it's not like a wide release film, um, I'm wondering about how what the gore is going to be like, because Mortal Kombat's known for its gore, and so
Yeah.
we may have a lot of blood in this one. And I'm always curious about what the story is going to be, because Mortal Kombat stories are confusing.
I was about to say, is there like an actual plot to Mortal Kombat that they can adapt into a movie, or are they just coming up with their own? Whose phone's going off?
Sorry, that was me.
Like the first, I mean the first like 2 or maybe even 3 Mortal Kombat games, maybe just the first 2, are essentially like, hey, we're gonna pull a bunch of warriors from a bunch of different places to fight, and whoever wins is gonna fight basically the lord of our outer realm, something like nether realm, something like that, and then your realm won't get taken over by us. And so like in the first Mortal Kombat movie, it was like, here, we're gonna pull a bunch of people from Earth and a lightning god who's like, hey, we want to save Earth, so you guys need to win the match. But I don't know, for the 1990s, Goro, who's got 4 arms, was pretty cool looking, because they did that with practical effects too, not like CGI. And so that's really neat. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. It's not my most excited thing to see on HBO Max in March, because Godzilla is coming.
I'm so ready for Godzilla.
So ready for Godzilla.
It's gonna be so cool.
I wish they set it up different though, because I feel like we all know what's gonna happen and who's gonna win the fight.
Kong's gonna win, and then except they're gonna fight together, and they're gonna fight against Mechagodzilla. I know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be cool when it happens anyway.
Yeah. Okay. It will be cool.
What's not going to be cool when it happens is what I've been reading about Netflix. They are apparently going to initiate a program to help try to crack down on password sharing.
It's crazy to me.
They want.
Wait, what does that mean?
So
like account sharing?
Yeah. The idea that, oh, hey, Andy's got Netflix, and so he shares it with all of us, and then
like Andy's got Netflix, I've got Hulu, so I give him my Hulu, he gives me his Netflix, and then
but apparently Netflix is testing out a I don't know what you would call it, kind of like just a test to send people requests when they log into their profile on Netflix, and then it sends an email or a text message to the actual account holder saying, hey, somebody just logged in, make sure you're not sharing it with anybody that's not supposed to have it. So
I
was gonna say
regulate that.
I don't know.
Like what's the difference between how are they going to account for like family sharing? My dad just put that, and I was asking the same question in my mind, because my dad pays for my family's Netflix, and then me and Reese and Riley and my mom all have accounts on Netflix, and so it's like, how is that going to be accounted for?
Well, Phil, I think that the answer is that I don't know. because I'm not Netflix, and I read just to see it in news story. But the basis of it that I think is what they're trying to do is also cut down on maybe some of these not legal, not like the semi-legal ways of doing it. Like obviously if we're family sharing with me and my daughters and my wife and stuff like that, so that's gonna be fine. They've already got a built-in mechanism. But for the one that is for, hey, here's my Netflix password or whatever, and y'all can use it anywhere in the world or whatever, or friends, combining or something like that. I bet there's going to be something like that. And I don't know, maybe they'll just hit every once in a while, maybe they'll just hit log out all devices and you have to change your password, stuff like that. I don't know.
This seems a bit extreme. I feel like they shouldn't have done anything.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's so they'll make more money, right? So that more people will have to sign up for Netflix.
Yeah, if they're introducing it now, I bet they lost a lot of money. And they're like, okay, we got to crack down on this. Because
make more original shows.
Well, again, in competition. I mean, that's the other thing too, is as soon as you pull off I mean, not that a whole bunch of people signed up for Peacock, but you pull off The Office, and then a whole bunch of people are like, oh, now I'm gonna go to Peacock or something like that.
They're probably threatened by Paramount Plus and Disney.
That's what I was
Plus
gonna
the
say
most,
because
and HBO.
Paramount Plus has a lot of Nick, right? It's like
Garbage.
Yeah.
Nick.
Paramount Plus is garbage. I can I can confirm it's garbage
Do
now.
they not have good stuff?
Yeah, like they didn't even have the good stuff that I was expecting them to add with the Paramount Plus. Like I watched a little bit of the CBS All Access shows, the Star Trek shows specifically, and then I was like ready to hit the cancel button, and they were like, wait. In March, it's going to become Paramount Plus, and so we're going to have all these new movies and stuff. And I'm like, okay. So I waited, and it launched last week. And
To me, it sounds like Paramount Plus is just doing what Disney Plus did at the start, where they basically thrived off of nostalgia, because it's all these like Gen Z, millennial, like young TV shows that were popular like 7 years ago, and they're just putting them back up so people can rewatch them and feel young again. And
Hey, what a way to put it.
once you run out of those, it's like, who's gonna watch? And that's why Disney Plus, I mean, that's not why, but that's why I mean, the only time people ever talk about using Disney Plus normally is when WandaVision or Mandalorian's coming out, or when you want to watch an old Avengers movie. That's why I still think Netflix is technically the best, because they have the most original shows. There's the most content that you haven't seen.
Yeah, but I really wish they wouldn't. They purged so many of their good movies. That kind of made me sad, but it makes sense. They're finding money to put into their originals. But I don't know.
Netflix is becoming the anime watching place. They're acquiring so many anime properties, and it's a smart move, because it keeps them relevant and gives them things to put on their platform.
I don't know, because I've watched almost all the anime on Netflix, like all of it. Yeah, like all of it.
It's a lot.
like all of it. I mean, it's a good handful,
Props
but
to you.
I mean, I have a lot of free time. What can I say? But I've watched a lot of it, and they're like really, really like sucker punch in the face, really good ones. And then there are some that are like not as good at all, really. But most of the like Netflix original animes are pretty solid. They're pretty in the middle. But I don't know. I wouldn't go to Netflix for anime.
Where's your go-to place then?
Crunchyroll.
Man, they got Great Pretender.
Okay.
Crunchyroll was one of the best shows that came out this year.
Which one?
The
Great
Great
Pretender.
Pretender. That one was really good. That one
It
was
was a Netflix original. Devilman Crybaby, Japan Sinks.
Mhm.
These are all Netflix original shows and very good.
Seven Deadly Sins. That's a
Is that a Netflix original?
I think so. Yeah.
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 Those are all pretty good, but I can't watch like anime that's in Japan right now that I've been watching or keeping up with. So that's why I go to Crunchyroll. Or, not saying that I do, I also do not endorse this, but pirating is not good. Do not do it.
Yeah, don't pirate.
Just have to put that out there. Not that I do, but don't pirate anime. Don't do it.
Don't.
Don't do it.
Tisk. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Speaking of, maybe disputed anime, Avatar is re-releasing in China.
Is that a disputed anime?
That's
Not the anime. Not the anime.
Not the
No.
next show. The
No.
cat one.
argument over
blue
it.
cat
That's
people.
what they disputed.
Cat.
People.
Where's the
Blue
cat
cat.
coming from?
They kind
No,
of look like
it's-
cats.
The blue skin, like
The blue
cat, like-
animated dudes. The
Tall people.
Isn't it unobtainium? Is that what, what it's
yes,
called?
unobtainium. Yes.
It's a lazy name, I feel. I don't know.
It is very lazy. I've never seen Avatar. Fun fact.
I
Really?
saw it when
Yep.
it first came out, so I don't remember a single thing about it.
Yeah.
It's probably better. Well, it was best in the theater.
Yeah, that's what
3D
I've
was
heard.
awesome, but it's
Well, it was like cutting edge technology. That's why it made so much
Mhm.
money.
it stands up okay. It stands up okay. The story, but it's long is another problem.
It is
but-
a long movie.
We should have, and it's weird because we should have had other Avatar sequels. Like this is the
Why
James
haven't
Cameron.
we? Why haven't we?
Every time it's like he's moves the goalposts more than nonstop.
Every
How old is he? How
every
old is
couple
he?
years you hear about Avatar 2, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh wow, Avatar, I remember
Like,
that.
oh yeah, it's coming out this year. They finished the script and they finished filming it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I heard they finished filming it last year.
But
I mean, editing process takes a while.
and for this kind of the motion capture stuff, like
Mhm.
they pioneered it, but then they are probably re-pioneering a new version of it
Yeah.
with this stuff. So yeah, I think though the whole purpose of Avatar's re-release in China is just so it can beat Endgame, isn't it?
And
just
yeah,
like
that's
for,
why
like-
Endgame re-released in theaters was to beat Avatar.
Gosh,
and
that's so petty.
But I don't know, because if it put maybe it's also kind of like a proof, like if Avatar can re-release
Thank
we
you.
had a commercial break. I think the whole reason for them to re-release in I think it's China, right, is where Avatar is getting re-released.
Oh.
I think the whole reason to do that additionally is to test the waters.
Yeah.
This original Avatar movie was out in 2009. Like a lot's changed since 2009. Like almost all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been out since 2009. So if it does well enough, with a quick re-release and people are still, hey, well, I want to go see this in the theaters and stuff like that, maybe that gives James Cameron lights a little fire and he's like, up, I'm on top again, and
Gives him the confidence.
or his investors the confidence, because that
Yeah.
could really be where the other problem lies. Like
Well,
maybe,
isn't it Disney v Disney right now? Like,
and I don't know, because the way that James Cameron normally owns his work, it's not like exclusive with a studio. Like he almost always does it since the Titanic deal. He's done things where it's been like, I own part of it. And so I think that's also why the Pandora stuff at the Disney parks are like a deal. Like it's not a permanent ownership, even though I don't even know if Disney owns the Avatar IP. I'm not even sure of that.
I think they do.
This
Well,
is
if
really off topic, but have you guys heard that they're gonna bring a Nintendo World, like
Really?
Super Mario Bros. World?
They're doing that in Universal, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're doing it in California and Florida, and they already have one in Japan, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, they've had to delay the opening a
I
couple of
know.
times.
I know they recently delayed it again. Broke my sister's heart. She's really excited about it.
I
Really
watched
sorry about it.
I watched one of the videos where this guy had, because the Mario Kart ride is AR, like it's augmented reality. So you wear goggles and then like you drive on a cart and you can see Mario Karts in front of you that get like hit by stuff. And so I watched a video where this guy tried to record through one of the AR goggles, and it kind of looks dopey, but it also kind of is like, no, I get this. This is gonna look cooler in real life. It's gonna look cooler in real life.
So there's gonna be a live action Powerpuff Girls.
Boo.
I don't understand you guys.
It's
Why?
CW.
Oh, is
They're
it?
gonna age them up
Yes.
and make them hot.
Well,
Oh,
and like
ooh.
one of the girls, Dove Cameron.
Dove Cameron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's gonna be Dove Cameron. Oh shoot, I just lost it.
There were
Dang.
two other people.
Yeah.
I knew one of the other people too, but I
Dove
didn't.
Cameron, one of the girls from Agents of Shield. She plays the character.
Chloe
Daisy.
Bennett.
Oh, Chloe
Yeah.
Bennett.
And then I'm pretty sure the other girl is from Sabrina,
Oh, the Chilling
like the Chilling
Adventures.
Adventures of Sabrina, the teenage
They're
witch.
all individually talented. It's just very disappointing that they're going to be the live action Powerpuff Girls, because they're going to over sexualize them. They're going to pull a Riverdale. All of those actors in Riverdale are individually talented. The writing is so terrible that it's a bad show.
Why'd you have to break my heart like that? I was so excited. I was like, ah, yes, I
It's
love
on
it.
CW. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that seems cool. And then I read down a little bit more and it was like on CW. And I was like, no.
I'm not a fan of this either for a same kind of Riverdale reasons. I mean, like, I feel like this is a bait and switch for the people who like really like Powerpuff Girls.
Yep.
You would go and watch Powerpuff Girls, or they even rebooted Powerpuff Girls not that long ago.
Which wasn't that good. Wasn't that good of a show. But they did do it.
But they did do it, and with original animation. I don't think they used the same voices though. I think I remember there being like
they didn't. That was the whole like beef drama because they used Tara Strong was one of them in the original, and they didn't bring her back, and it didn't make much sense because it's not like it's like a kid actor like Logan Grove for Gumball where they had to change him because his voice got deeper. It's like they could have done the original voice, they just didn't.
She probably costs too much money now because she's done too many things. And so this is where I feel like all they're gonna do is they're gonna say, hey, here are 3, Dove Cameron, Chloe Bennett, those are some names. I mean, I people would watch a show with them in it. Then you just say it's a Powerpuff Girls show. Oh, now I'm definitely going to tune into the first episode because either I want to see how terrible it is or I want to see how wonderful it is. And it's a bait and switch because I can't imagine there being a possibility that they could fight Mojo Jojo or him or the Gangrene Gang without it being Riverdale levels of awful. I mean, like,
and I think I have stumbled onto something. It appears all of them are talented singers. So that may bring a musical element.
I don't think it'll be a musical show. I think they may pull a Riverdale and have musical episodes.
I don't want that. That's
because they did that. They did it in Riverdale. It's a CW thing. They've done it in Riverdale. They've done it in Supergirl. They've done it in Flash. They haven't done it in Arrow, but they have done it in Flash and Supergirl multiple times, and they've done it in Riverdale multiple times. I wouldn't put it past them. I don't like the CW.
It's gonna be rough.
And I even the superhero shows on the CW, like, they often do it that can't be okay. I don't know, like, it's like an okay level of camp. I'm okay kind of with it. But this is, even if they went like way off and like made it really funny, like, I think the Powerpuff Girls is funny. Like, I think that's part of the core of the show, is that it's cute little girls, but they're super tough and they deal with like 8-year-old problems, and immediately none of those young actresses are 8-year-olds. They're
Well, another person who may be producing something, Marsai Martin, may produce Disney Channel original show.
I know about that, so I'll
hit us with the fact. Yeah, hit us with the facts.
So she's going to be producing. Well, okay, they've gotten a pilot order for the show that she's producing. It's going to be called Saturday, and it's a single camera comedy about a young girl and her competitive roller skating crew. And yeah, she has sickle cell disease in this. And when it flares up, it'll take every ounce of determination to prove the doubters wrong, including her concerned family.
That doesn't sound bad. That's a good pitch.
Yeah.
I'm already more interested in the Powerpuff Girls.
Yep.
Yeah.
But looking when Krista brought this up too, like, I looked her up and she's 16. She's from Plano, like, producing and starring in movies and stuff like that. I'm way more behind that than Avatar re-releasing and Powerpuff Girls and even the Mortal Kombat movie. Like let's get some cool new ideas from some cool new people, rather than replaying the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
I really like how it's like tackling two different things that like we don't see often, like a roller skating team. You don't get to see that often, and representation of sickle cell disease, or just like any disease really. We don't really see it in media, but they're gonna like tackle that, and it's really cool. And I hope a lot of people see it and they're like, wow, yeah, I understand that. I get that feeling.
Yeah, my kids loved the Alexa and Katie show that was on Netflix. That at least during season 1 was about, I don't remember which of them was going through cancer, and they really liked it because it was, dealing with those kind of issues, but still friends and things like that. Like, I think any way that we can show, especially medical, like people who have diseases and syndromes and things like that, that they can live a normal life, they can do a lot of the same kind of stuff. I think it's very helpful.
Yeah.
Meghan Markle recently said in her interview thing that if you can see it, then you can be it. And I feel like that really applies to today's media.
Well, we should talk about Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff happened there.
Are you going to give us the rundown? Are you going to run down the drama for us?
I mean, I talked about the last topic. Who
Can
wants
I
to speak?
apologize real fast? Can I apologize very quickly? I said in the last live stream that the Queen is on death's door, which I'm not going to take back, and that they should just wait it out. After their interview, I don't think they should have waited out. I think they made the right move. So I apologize to the royal family. No, not to the royal family. I apologize to Meghan and Harry. Apologize to Meghan and Harry, and I apologize to the audience because I know they're listening right now.
A real one for that.
I just like to take that back because that sounded very ignorant, and I didn't I mean, obviously, there was no way I could have known what was going on.
Right.
So, Andy, why don't you hit us with this?
Yeah. So I haven't watched the entire interview. I watched the big clips.
Yeah.
I don't know why it never occurred to me before, but it's kind of obvious that the royal family is racist. It's because I've come to the conclusion that if it was made before 1950, it's secretly racist, and if it's made after 1950, it's probably racist. So it's just there's a lot of things that are like that, and I think it's just absurd that was a conversation. Of course, I'm talking about how there were members of the royal family that were concerned with the color of Meghan Markle's baby. I was like, come on. What?
They were worried it was going to be too dark.
Yeah.
Even though it's a 75% white baby.
Yeah.
Not to even diminish the conversation or I don't know how to put it, but I don't think that should have been a concern, but even if it was a concern, there was nothing. I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't have been a concern in general.
I think there's a lot of there's a lot of racism, and the royal family is very jealous of people coming in and being more popular than them.
Which makes sense. I mean, they went from the big dogs of the whole world to the big dogs of this island. So, I mean, I'm sure there's some bent of anger.
It's the Isle of Dogs. It was from that movie from a couple years back.
I'm glad that Meghan and Harry have gotten out and are what seem to be happy now. I hope they're safe. I hope they're safe.
I'm so happy that interview happened and that she was courageous enough to say all this, because I imagine there's a lot of fear about what could happen.
I also think she
revealed all these things.
I think she was really smart for not giving names.
Well, do we know who it was? Because we know it wasn't the Queen or Philip. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I was. That's what I figured. That's what I thought. Because we know, Harry was like, well, it wasn't my mom, and it wasn't my grandma, and it wasn't my grandpa.
It's gonna be your mom.
Yikes.
Yeah.
But he also said that he's not talking to his brother, and what's something that would make you not want to talk to your sibling anymore?
Right. That would definitely be it. I think it takes some bravery for Harry too, because he literally was a prince of England and has decided this is more important. I am willing to get out of royalty because this is that important to me. And so I felt like, obviously, I think Meghan Markle was extremely brave for doing this, but I thought it was also really great that he was there to be there and to have that conversation with her and be a face of royalty, to say that this is not he said she said kind of stuff. This was some real tough conversations. But I was glad to see Piers Morgan exit, because I don't know if you saw his clip, but he was kind of saying that it was being blown out of proportion, or that it wasn't important, or something, and basically ended up walking off Good Morning Britain, and is not on the show anymore. And,
Really?
and so it's like, wow, you just bye.
He actually recently made a comment saying, "I said I didn't believe Meghan Markle in her Oprah interview. I've had time to reflect on this opinion, and I still don't. If you did, okay. Freedom of speech is a hill I'm happy to die on."
It's weird because and this is a discussion, like a journalism discussion too, I guess. Like, I mean, this show too, this is more of a commentary analysis. We're sharing our opinions. We're not calling ourselves journalists in this. But Piers Morgan would often call himself a journalist, and I think he walked that back years later on. But when people take the defense of freedom of speech when just that people are mad of what you've said, that's just you're missing the point a little bit on this. Freedom of speech, in America, only gives the rules that the government can't make rules against you criticizing the government. Like, that's it. It doesn't mean that you can say whatever you want without any repercussions.
People think freedom of speech means freedom of consequences.
Freedom from consequences, and it's not. And I'm pretty sure every one of you, well, maybe not Ethan, had that lesson in my class at one of these times.
I was like,
had that kind of thing. So it's it's just that. Yeah, the media landscape is so big too that, like, when people get canceled, or not even canceled, but like get fired from jobs or not asked back to work on whatever, it's like, then go someplace else. Like, there's some other place out there. Maybe it's not as big. Maybe you said something really bad, and you should be held accountable. There's a difference between there's a difference between being held accountable for something that you said and this idea that you're being persecuted because you have a different opinion. And that's
kind of ironic, because he criticized her for quitting her royal duties because of backlash, even though he did exactly that.
So, Piers, I think Krista has challenged you to a debate. If you're watching it, you're very excited about that idea.
Yes.
all right, Andy, how are we looking on time?
We're 2 minutes over.
All right, so we should
sorry.
end.
So yeah.
Well, guys, we've had a great show. It's been awesome having you here, Miss Gianna. You got anything to say?
I mean, I just really appreciate all the hard work that you guys do, and how every week one of the it's Friday right now that we're recording this, but like, my Saturday mornings are normally spent listening to kid created podcasts. If it's What's Poppin', or the Armchair Detectives, which is one of our other shows that looks at cold cases. And Krista, I was on with them yesterday, and they invited you specifically. They were like, there's only one girl on What's Poppin'. We need to invite her to our, because it's a whole crew of girls that talk about cold cases and murders and stuff like that. And
They can't take Krista from us.
They wanted to do a collab, because they wanted to talk, and I guess other people might be invited too, because they were talking about everybody watching The Bling Ring, if you remember that movie, and then talking about that case. So
I'm down with murder.
Okay, clip that.
Clip it. Hey, someone clip that in chat.
Somebody clip that in chat. But also, something that's really, really, really exciting for us at Timber Creek is that TCTV has its own 24/7 channel now. We have our own TV channel, and What's Poppin' plays on it regularly. So once this episode goes on, you might be watching it on this thing. People are watching the previous episode on it. Probably right now, and so that's really exciting. And it launched again. We're recording this on Friday, March 12th, so it launched this morning, like 7 hours ago, officially. But we've been working on it for quite a long time, and I'm really excited about it. And it's got great content. It's got great content. You see a lot of these faces on here, not only on What's Poppin', but on Talent Show or on Noticias en Español, John's Spanish language news. I mean, and there's tons of stuff. We've got sports shows, we've got live news, we've got all sorts of things. Peter Pan from the theater department, we're rerunning that. Band concerts that we've filmed and broadcast earlier this year, you know, rerun too. So like, it's a great place. Go check it out. Go on Twitter. That's probably the fastest way to get there. It's just Timber Creek TV on Twitter, at Timber Creek TV on Twitter.
I can link the stream below.
Or we can link the stream below. Or
Yeah.
you can go to timbercreektalent.com and you'll find the TCTV button that will get you to where you need to go and stuff like that too. So you can see all of this stuff. Because that's the best thing, is that we have such great and talented students like you guys, that we create such amazing content, and so much of it that we needed a home for it. I know I'm boring Krista, I'm sorry about that.
No, I went to bed at like 4. Yes.
Yeah, anytime.
This
I think
morning.
we're in sync because every time you've yawned, I've yawned at the exact same time. It's not even like a thing where like you see someone yawn, because I'll have my eyes closed and then I'm yawning and then I'll open my eyes and you're yawning too.
Wow, twinsies. It's because we're both born January
It's
12th.
because we were born on the same day. It's got to be what it is.
Hey, are you thinking of a certain color right now?
I don't want to do this again because I don't want to get it wrong.
Alright, whatever.
Before
I was
we
thinking
go,
orange.
Before we go, people left us voice messages. Here they are.
All right, what's poppin', crew? It is me, Mr. Yonda. I know that I've been called out a couple of weeks now by Ethan Hyatt. Sorry, Ethan. I've had stuff to do. My Saturdays are for the boys. Not really. They're for my family. But anyway, here's the answer. Who would you bring back and then kill him the next day? I think it would be really fun to bring back Thomas Jefferson. I want to explain why. I think it would be really cool to show him everything that the country's done, and then he's dead the next day. Boom. I think it wins on all the cylinders. And 2, the conspiracy theory about Helen Keller. Boys and girls, we gotta talk about that, because I never even heard that there was a conspiracy against Helen Keller. Love the show. Love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. And Andy, you're the best. You're the best.
Word.
That second one, Ethan, I think somebody is calling you out about Helen Keller and a couple other.
Yeah, we had to talk about it. I'll accept that I'm probably wrong. My tiny little human brain cannot fathom that. If I was Helen Keller, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have figured it out.
Oh gosh.
She
Thank
had
you.
perseverance.
Thank you, Mr. Hyde, and thank you, Ethan. Or thank you, Mr. Yonda. And thank you, Ethan, for getting Mr. Yonda to send us a voice message. We couldn't have done it without you, Ethan.
Finally.
Question of the week this week is, if you could be a color, what color would you be? Like, not the color of your skin, just a color. If you could choose to be a color, and then describe what personality you think that color would have. Mine is probably like gold,
Okay.
and
Oh.
I would be very, very like chill. I'd be very chill gold.
Mhm.
John
That's
Leave that
crazy,
down
'cause
below.
I
John
was
is
thinking-
going to be the color space.
Yeah. Man, do not expect this episode to come out on Sunday then, because it's gonna take some time to work that.
Wait, does anyone have any other idea of what color they are?
I think I'm just this blue that's around me.
What
Like a pale
personality?
blue?
What personality does that blue have?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That I don't know. Calm, collected.
Oh.
So leave a voice message, Grammy and
Oh.
Mom and my dad again, and Corey. Corey still hasn't left one.
Come on, Corey. Slacking.
Thank y'all for listening. You should watch us on our YouTube channel, TCTV. That has also been plugged already. Thank you. Have a good night. I'm in space. I'm in space.
I'd be Amber.
What personality would Amber have?
I think she'd be a little